Goldman Sachs says up to 300 million full-time jobs around the world could be affected by artificial intelligence. In a report Sunday, their economists predicted 18% of work globally.
The incentive to sort of squeeze OPEX, to create better utilization rates, to increase profitability is quite obvious. It always has been. They will be the first people to figure out how to use these tools at scale. Before the law firms or the accounting firms or any of those folks even sort of try to figure out how to displace white-collar labor, I think it's going to be the coding jobs, and it's going to be the coding for hire jobs that companies like Accenture and TCS.
The world has never seen anything like ChatGPT. This AI is taking the world by storm and is currently the fastest growing app ever. Indeed, there's a reason for tech giants like Google to be worried, and this has started an AI war. They say when two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. This AI battle will impact users even more than they realize. In today's video, Chamath Palihapitiya discusses the rivalry between these two computing platforms and the dark reality that a lot of businesses might replace humans with AI. But of course, one way to survive this AI is to subscribe to the channel so that you can get all the updates you need and not be left behind. First, Chamath reveals how Google aims to trick users into using their AI.
I'm looking at this Saxipu more reductively as a capitalist, which is what are people's incentives, because that's what they'll do. Google's incentive is to usurp ChatGPT's usage by inserting something inside of their existing distribution channels to suppress the ability for you to want to go to the app. I think Facebook has that same incentive. Oddly, even though Microsoft is such a deep partner, I think certain assets of Microsoft have that incentive. You're talking collectively about $5 or $6 trillion of market cap. Then when you add in Alexa and Amazon and Siri and Apple, what is their incentive? I don't think their incentive is to let this happen. And I think if you look at the Slack Microsoft Teams example of even a better engineered product who's excellent and widely deployed, even at hundreds of millions of users, doesn't much matter when it's more cleverly distributed and priced. And so those things, again, you may still be right. All I'm saying is it's just so early to know. And as slow and lumbering as some of these big companies are, they are not so stupid as to kill their own golden goose and or defend it when threatened. So I think you just have to let it see what happens. We're definitely now on this fuck around, find out curve.
Yeah.
And so there is only one way to really find out, which is somebody's going to push the boundaries. The competitive dynamics will get the better of some startup. They'll do something that people will look back on and say, whoa, that was a bridge too far. So yeah, it's just a matter of time.
Microsoft's Bing is taking a huge bite of Google search. The new Bing search engine, which has ChatGPT AI incorporated into it, has become a preferred search tool for many and has recently gained 15.8% more page visits. The search app has now achieved 100 million daily users, all thanks to ChatGPT. While Google has responded with its large language model chatbot, Google still has a lot of work to do to get users on its platform. A senior leader of Google Assistant is leaving the team and taking charge of the Bard AI chatbot. This change suggests that Google is shifting its focus to AI as a key area of innovation and development. But who is winning in this AI war? Microsoft, Google, or you, the user? Microsoft may have a little victory for now, but the real winners are chip-making companies such as Nvidia. Nvidia has gained about $300 billion in market valuation, all thanks to the current AI war. Companies like Microsoft and Google need GPU chips to train and operate their LLMs. So who are the losers as the competition heats up? Chamath talks about that next.
I think the problem at Google is not Sundar or Larry or Sergey. I think it's more in the deep bowels of middle management of that company, which is that there's just far too many people that probably have an opinion, and their opinion is not shrouded in survival. Their opinion is shrouded in elite language around what is the moral and ethical implications of this and where Has this been properly tested on the diaspora of 19 different ethnic tribes of the Amazon? That's the kind of decision making that is a nice to have when you are the second or third most valuable technology company in the world. But you have to be able to pause that kind of thinking and instead get into wartime survival mode. And it's very hard. So it doesn't almost matter at this point what Sundar wants. The real question is, what is the capability of middle management to either do it or get out of the way? And I think that in all of these big companies that struggle, what you really see is an inability for middle management to get out of the way, or frankly, just you need somebody to then fire them. And if you look at folks who get their groove back, let's see what Facebook does. What are they targeting? They're targeting middle management. If you look at what Elon does in the companies that he owns, there is virtually no middle management. It's like, get out of the way.
Build product
And ship it.
Yeah.
And what is the core truth? And so if failure is there in front of you, and if David is right that you have 200 million users come out of nowhere who are voting every day with their time and attention to use an app, and that doesn't create a five-alarm fire where you get middle management out of the way and you are the senior most people talking to the people doing the work and shipping things every day, you are toast.
The role of middle managers in tech companies is under threat, as some of the industry giants are looking for ways to cut costs and boost efficiency. Meta Platforms, formerly known as Facebook, announced that it will be reducing some layers of management in 2023, its quote-unquote year of efficiency. The company also laid off over 11,000 workers last year, 13% of its workforce, in its first major layoff. Meta isn't alone in targeting middle managers. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, revealed that it has more than 30,000 managers in its ranks, according to its chief people officer, Fiona Ciccione.
This is yet another reason that Figma really needs to close this acquisition from Adobe. I mean, it's like the value of these apps are just getting gutted. If you take a workflow management tool for things like design and imagery, and you reduce it by an order of 90%, it's like, what is that app experience worth? And how could you replicate it if you were a big company that already has distribution? That's one comment. But what I would tell you, Jason, to answer the white collar question is, I think there are a handful of companies you need to look at exclusively, because they will be the first ones to really figure out how to displace human labor. And that is TCS, so Tata Consulting Services, Accenture, Cognizant. These are all the folks that do coding for hire work at scale. I think Accenture has something like 750,000 employees. So the incentive to sort of squeeze OpEx, to create better utilization rates, to increase profitability is quite obvious. It always has been. They will be the first people to figure out how to use these tools at scale before the law firms or the accounting firms or any of those folks even sort of try to figure out how to displace white-collar labor. I think it's going to be the coding jobs, and it's going to be the coding for hire jobs that companies like Accenture and TCS.
The workplace and the workforce are undergoing a major transformation as artificial intelligence becomes more prevalent and powerful. A recent study by Foundry showed that 91% of organizations are adopting or planning to adopt a digital-first strategy, and they intend to spend an average of $16.5 million on digital initiatives in the next year. This is just a nice way of saying that they're going to step up using AI or software programs in place of people to achieve more productivity. However, the shift to AI also poses significant challenges and risks, especially for white-collar workers. Bill Gates, the co-founder of Microsoft, warned that AI tools like ChatGPT or Google's Bard, which can generate text or code based on user prompts, will change the way that people access information online, but he also cautioned that AI will inevitably displace some white-collar jobs. According to a report by Goldman Sachs, around 300 million jobs could be affected by generative AI, meaning that 18% of work globally could be automized. The report also predicted that 2/3 of jobs in the US and Europe are exposed to some degree of AI automation, and around a quarter of all jobs could be performed by AI entirely. But what about you guys? How are you preparing to adapt to a world where AI can do most of the jobs we do today? Let us know in the comment section below. And of course, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next exciting update.